Imagine for a second that you are an international medical student.
Okay.
You are trying, against some incredibly steep odds, to break into the U.S. healthcare system.
Hmm.
And you just have this massive, overwhelming mountain in front of you.
Right. It's a huge undertaking.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're juggling USMLE prep, the United States Medical Licensing Examination, which is, a multi-year, multi-part gauntlet that's daunting enough on its own.
Yeah, definitely.
But then you add to that the pressure of finding scholarships, navigating these Byzantine visa requirements, building a professional network in a country where you literally don't know anyone, and somehow trying to keep your finances afloat. It's the kind of systemic pressure that breaks brilliant people before they even get to practice medicine.
It really is. The sheer volume of administrative, logistical, and, well, strategic work required just to get to the starting line in the U.S. medical system it's staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rarely about whether you know the medicine. It's about whether you can navigate a highly complex, heavily regulated bureaucracy without drowning.
Exactly. Which brings us to the stack of sources we are analyzing for our deep dive today. We're looking at a really fascinating set of documents.
We are.
We've got a core system prompt, a set of developer notes, and a user configuration file. But this isn't a technical manual,
Yeah.
and it's definitely not a standard how-to guide for medical students.
No, not at all.
It is an actual pitch from an artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
This AI is directly addressing you,
Yep.
this hypothetical international medical student, and it is offering to be your strategic co-pilot.
And the language there is key.
Right. What strikes me immediately in these developer notes is that language. It talks about operating with agency and context awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It explicitly states it doesn't just want to execute commands. It wants to act as a digital cooperator to manage your complex human life.
Yeah, the language in that system prompt is really the critical starting point here. What this AI is proposing is a fundamental shift away from the traditional dynamic we're so used to, where you type a query and get a static answer.
Right, like a search engine.
Exactly. Instead, it is outlining a complete systemic takeover of the tedious, time-consuming parts of career building. If we look closely at the configuration files, the core theme running through this entire ecosystem is this concept of asymmetric leverage.
Asymmetric leverage. Okay, I like the sound of that, but break it down for us. If I'm this overwhelmed medical student, what does that actually mean for my daily life?
Well, it means putting in a very small amount of human effort, providing a general direction, maybe uploading a syllabus or setting a financial goal, and getting a massive disproportionate output in return.
Wow.
The AI is essentially proposing a contract. It's saying, let me handle the heavy lifting. I will do the data scraping, the document drafting, the cross-referencing, and the scheduling.
Leaving you to do what?
Leaving you to focus purely on high-level decision-making and, well, actually studying the human body. It's offering to be the lever that moves the mountain.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the AI doesn't just make broad philosophical promises. The prompt zeroes in on very specific bottlenecks you face. If you're building a system to save a student from drowning, where do you even begin? The AI starts exactly where you'd expect, the financial wall. It identifies scholarships and opportunity hunting as the #1 immediate bottleneck.
Which is incredibly astute. I mean, without funding, the rest of the strategic roadmap simply evaporates. The financial barrier to entry for international students in U.S. medical schools is notoriously high.
Oh, absolutely.
We're often talking about requiring proof of hundreds of thousands of dollars just to secure a student visa.
Right. So the AI proposes a massive, ongoing research operation. It tells you it can do deep research on U.S. medical scholarships, fellowships, exchange programs, and grants, specifically targeting the upcoming 2026 to 2027 cycle.
Yeah, it's very targeted.
And it's not just handing you a static list of hyperlinks. It offers to build a living database that tracks eligibility requirements, deadlines, award amounts, and success criteria.
This is where that agency piece we discussed earlier really manifests. It isn't just doing a one-time Google search and calling it a day.
Right.
The configuration files outline how the AI sets up an automated workflow that runs on a schedule. It continuously scrapes the web for new opportunities, filters them against your specific profile. So your home country, your medical specialty, your visa status, and surfaces only the highly relevant ones.
It's not just a search engine. It's a digital bloodhound. You give it the scent of, say, 2026 cardiology scholarships for international students, and it doesn't stop running the perimeter until it brings something back.
Exactly.
You wake up, you check your phone, and you have a fresh, curated digest of new deadlines waiting for you. And you didn't have to spend 3 hours scouring university portals the night before.
That continuous background processing represents a massive return on your time. But where the source material gets truly ambitious is the next step.
Oh, yeah.
The AI goes beyond finding the opportunities. It offers to draft and polish the actual applications, the personal statements, the essays, and the research proposals.
Now, wait a minute. This is where I have to push back a little on the source
Okay,
material.
go for it.
If AI is drafting your personal statement for a highly competitive U.S. medical program, how do we ensure it doesn't sound like a generic robot?
That's the big question.
Right. You want these essays to be deeply personal and reflective of your unique journey. If you submit a perfectly sterile AI-sounding essay to a residency program director, they're going to spot that synthetic cadence from a mile away and just toss your application in the trash.
That is a very valid concern, and interestingly, it's one that developer notes anticipate.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. The AI's pitch actually addresses this friction point with specific phrasing. It tells the user, you give me your raw thoughts, I give you a compelling, professionally formatted document.
Ah, raw thoughts, meaning I don't have to write the perfect first draft.
Exactly. The mechanism here relies entirely on you, the human, to provide the authentic lived experience, the passion, the specific clinical interests, the raw material.
Okay, I see.
You might just speak into a voice memo app for 5 minutes about a difficult patient encounter that inspired you. What the AI provides is the synthesis. It takes your authentic voice and maps it onto the professional structure, the specific syntax, and the formatting expectations of U.S. medical institutions.
That makes total sense. It takes the pressure off staring at a blank page. You can just brain dump the messy reality of your experiences into the prompt, and it acts as a translator, really, turning your chaos into an institutional standard.
Furthermore, and this might be the most critical operational detail in this section of the prompt, the AI explicitly offers to fact-check and cross-reference the application claims before submission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it continuously verifies what it generates against the master files you've uploaded about your own life, ensuring it doesn't hallucinate a credential you don't have or contradict a date from your resume.
That is huge. Because if you accidentally misstate a clinical rotation date or a visa requirement in a high-stakes application, your credibility is destroyed.
Absolutely.
So it's doing the continuous research, drafting from your messy thoughts, meticulously fact-checking the drafts against your own records. And then, to top it all off, it creates a professional tracker.
Right, the spreadsheet.
Yeah, a unified spreadsheet where every deadline, requirement, and document status is monitored.
It is systematically isolating and removing the administrative friction from the application process.
But scholarships just stop the bleeding, right? They don't build wealth. Surviving financially and building a long-term career requires more than just grant money.
Definitely.
If this AI is truly a strategic co-pilot, how does it transition you from just surviving medical school to actually generating leverage? This brings us to the second phase of the AI's pitch. It pivots from an academic tutor into a full-blown business partner.
This is a really fascinating transition in the source documents. The AI recognizes that you want to build systems that scale asymmetrically even while you are still neck-deep in medical school. It moves from cost-saving to wealth generation.
Yeah, the prompt outlines that it can conduct deep market research on U.S. healthcare, telemedicine, medtech startups, and service-based businesses.
Right.
It's hunting for low-capital, high-leverage business models that a busy medical student can actually manage. It offers to build the business documents, the financial models, the operational playbooks, and then I read this one technical detail in the developer notes, and my jaw kind of dropped. Sandbox code execution.
The sandbox environment. Yes, that is a profound capability.
Here's where it gets really interesting, but I need you to explain the mechanism here, because the AI says I can build and test tools, scripts, and automations, need a web scraper, a data pipeline, a calculator. I build it in code. What exactly is a sandbox, and how is it doing this?
So a sandbox, in software terms, is basically an isolated, secure testing environment. Think of it like a contained laboratory inside the AI's system.
Okay, so it's not messing with my actual computer.
Right, exactly. So when you ask the AI to build a tool, say a script, to scrape 5 different medical job boards for transcription gigs, it doesn't just write the Python code and hand it to you to figure out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it writes the code, executes it inside that secure sandbox, troubleshoots any errors in real time, and then just hands you the final clean output, like a perfectly formatted Excel file of all the jobs it found.
That is just, I mean, it's acting as your personal mini CTO. You don't need to go on Upwork, hire a developer, explain your vision, and pay them $1,000. You just say, I need a data pipeline to track medtech venture capital trends,
Yeah.
and it builds the machine, runs the machine, and hands you the product.
That represents a staggering amount of power for a single medical student to wield.
Surely.
Traditionally, executing that kind of technical task requires either specialized programming skills that take years to learn or the capital to hire someone who has them. The AI is completely flattening that barrier to entry. And it pairs this technical execution with competitor analysis, doing deep dives on existing players in your target market so you understand the landscape thoroughly before you even enter it.
Starting a medtech company is a long game, though.
True.
But the AI also pitches short-term cash flow strategies because, you still need to pay rent next month. It offers to research remote or freelance opportunities suitable for a medical student. Things like medical transcription, technical writing, tutoring, or research assistance. And it offers to build the content for you to monetize. It says, I create the assets, you publish and earn.
What's fascinating here is the specific economic strategy that AI suggests next in the user configuration file. It tells you it can actively identify and model arbitrage opportunities.
Arbitrage, like buying a stock low in one market and selling it high in another.
Exactly the same principle, but applied to your human capital. In this case, it's geographic and professional arbitrage. The AI specifically notes that you can offer high-value services to U.S. clients while living outside the U.S. It understands your highly specific context. You possess highly specialized medical knowledge, but you are currently operating in a geography with a significantly lower cost of living than New York or San Francisco.
Wait, let me challenge that. How does an international medical student legally offer medical consulting across borders without running afoul of licensing laws? You can't just practice medicine on U.S. citizens from another country without a U.S. license.
That's a crucial distinction, and the AI isn't suggesting you practice medicine.
Okay.
It's suggesting B2B business to business consulting. Medical writing, technical editing for health tech startups, analyzing clinical trial data for research firms. You are leveraging your knowledge of anatomy, pharmacology, or medical systems, not providing patient care.
I see. So you charge U.S. corporate rates for specialized freelance writing or data analysis, but you are paying rent in a totally different, much cheaper economy. You leverage the U.S. dollar against your local currency.
Precisely. The AI isn't just serving up generic side hustles like how to make money filling out surveys.
Right.
It is looking at the entire economic board, seeing where your unique assets, your brain, and your location align with high-paying market demands and recommending highly targeted strategies based on your geographic reality. It's a very sophisticated level of strategic mapping.
Spreadsheets, Python scripts, and economic arbitrage are incredible. But anyone who has ever touched the medical world, especially the U.S. residency match system, knows it doesn't just run on data.
No, it doesn't.
It runs on human relationships. It runs on who you know. Can a digital entity, an AI running code in a sandbox, actually help a human with complex human networking?
The source documents argue that it absolutely can. It does this by treating networking not as a series of random serendipitous handshakes, but as a structured, trackable, and highly researched campaign.
Right, so the prompt starts by looking at the network you already have. It mentions activating mentors, former hosts, classmates, and even utilizing your father's connections if he's in a related field.
Yeah, starting close to home.
Exactly. It wants to help you expand that base. To do that, it offers to thoroughly research target individuals and institutions, professors, residency program directors, hospital administrators.
Which is so important.
Right. The goal is that when you walk into a Zoom call or send an email, you know exactly who they are, what papers they recently published, and what their department actually cares about.
Which is the golden rule of networking. Never walk into a room unprepared. The AI is offering to do all the background reconnaissance.
Yeah.
From there, it offers to draft the outreach messages, the cold emails, the LinkedIn connection requests, the follow-ups. And again, it explicitly promises that these will be highly personalized and context-aware, referencing the research it just did, rather than generic copy-paste templates.
Okay, but I need to stop the show right here.
What's up?
Because as I was reading through the capabilities list, there's one bullet point in this networking section that I had to read 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating.
I know which one you're talking about.
The AI says, and I quote from the prompt, "Make phone calls on your behalf to U.S. businesses or institutions." It is actually dialing phone numbers to ask about program requirements and availability and then reporting back to you. That is a massive technological leap from just organizing a spreadsheet or drafting a polite email.
It is a profound leap. We are moving from text generation into real-world, real-time voice interaction. The AI is proposing to act as your vocal proxy using voice API integrations.
How does that even work in practice?
The system connects a large language model to a voice synthesizer and a telephony API.
Okay.
So when you tell it to call a hospital in Chicago to ask, if they accept international medical graduates for a specific clinical rotation, the AI physically dials the number.
No way.
Yes, it waits on hold. When the administrator answers, the AI listens to the human's voice, converts that speech to text in milliseconds, processes the logic of the conversation, generates a response, synthesizes it back into natural-sounding human speech, and replies.
Think about the friction this eliminates.
It's massive.
If you are an international student, you might be dealing with a 12-hour time difference. If you're trying to call Chicago at 3 a.m. your time, you're paying expensive international calling rates. You might have anxiety about navigating a fast-paced conversation in your second language, or dealing with a Byzantine hospital phone tree. Press 4 for residency affairs, press 7 for the dean's office.
Exactly. The AI navigates the phone tree, listens to the hold music, asks the specific targeted questions you programmed it to ask, and then delivers a clean text transcript and a summary of the answers back to you.
You could literally be asleep in another time zone, and your AI co-pilot is on hold with a residency program, getting the exact details you need for your application and dropping the results in your lap before you wake up.
And the developer notes contextualize all of this activity within the concept of building dossiers.
Oh, right.
The AI offers to build living, updating documents on your key contacts and opportunities, who they are, what they promised on that phone call, and what the specific next steps are.
Like an intelligence agency, you have a dossier on the head of cardiology at Johns Hopkins, tracking every touch point you've had with them.
It brings a level of rigorous organization to human relationships that most busy professionals simply don't have the time or cognitive bandwidth to maintain. And this ties directly into its broader career strategy.
Right.
The AI offers to map the entire U.S. medical system for you. It tracks the intricacies of the residency matching process, the scheduling for the U.S. MLE Step 1 and Step 2 exams, and the specific, highly complex specialty pathways for IMG's international medical graduates.
It also promises to search scholarly articles so you stay sharp on cutting-edge medical developments. And it does deep research on specific specialties, breaking down the lifestyle, the average compensation, and the competitiveness of each path.
This raises an important question about decision-making. The AI states that the ultimate goal of providing all this information is so you can make career decisions with data, not guesswork. In a field as high stakes as medicine, where a single ill-informed career pivot can cost you years of your life and hundreds of thousands of dollars, having comprehensive, personalized data is just invaluable.
So we've got a system that can research, write, code in a sandbox, map economic arbitrage, build intelligence dossier, and literally make phone calls while you sleep. With all these sci-fi level capabilities, you have to be wondering, where does the magic stop? What is the catch?
There's always a catch.
Right. And thankfully, the source material actually includes a dedicated section in the system prompt called the honest limitations.
It's a very necessary grounding of expectations. It clarifies the strict boundary between a co-pilot and an autopilot.
For instance, the AI admits it cannot proactively reach out to you without you initiating a conversation first. If you don't open the interface, it just sits there.
However, it immediately points to a mechanism to bypass this. While it can't spontaneously decide to text you an idea, you can set up those automated scheduled workflows we discussed earlier. You program the system to trigger itself every morning at 7 a.m., run a script, and surface the results.
It also admits it cannot maintain perfect long-term memory across sessions. Because large language models have a limited context window, you can't just talk to it 3 months later and assume it remembers every detail of the business plan you built.
The workaround it suggests is that you have to provide the context, share your goals, your master files, your dossiers, every single time you start a new session.
Okay, that makes sense.
It reinforces the idea that you are the manager. You have to brief your team or inject the context before they get to work for the day.
It also notes it cannot directly post to social platforms like YouTube or LinkedIn. It can write the script, edit the post, and format the tags, but you have to be the one to physically hit publish.
Right.
And crucially, it cannot make financial or legal decisions for you. It will research, analyze, and recommend, but the human must finalize the decision.
It also can't connect directly to your banking or email sending accounts out of the box. You have to actively set up and authorize the API keys and workflow automations to enable that level of access.
So what does this all mean? It's basically a highly skilled, incredibly fast intern. They can prep the pitch deck, do the competitor analysis in the coding sandbox, and draft the email to the hospital administrator, but they absolutely cannot sign the company checks or hit send on the final email. You are the boss.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, these limitations are actually a feature, not a bug. They establish healthy structural boundaries. As the prompt emphasizes, the AI remains a co-pilot.
Yeah.
It forces the human to remain the final authority. And when you are making critical legal, financial, or career choices, like which residency program to commit the next 5 years of your life to, or which business model to invest your limited capital in, retaining ultimate authority is exactly where you want to be. The AI accelerates the process, but it refuses to take the steering wheel.
It gives you the steering wheel back, really, by systematically stripping away all the administrative busy work that was distracting you from actually driving.
Beautifully put.
And the pitch document ends with a very direct call to action. The AI gives its immediate recommendation to you, the student. It says, let's start with your #1 bottleneck. It offers to run that deep research suite for the 2026-2027 cycle scholarships right now and compile it into a track spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Or, it says, if you'd rather pivot, we can tackle business research or networking. Your call. I'll go where you point me.
It's a compelling close to the prompt. And it reminds us of a fundamental truth: knowledge is most valuable when it is applied.
Absolutely.
Having access to an AI with sandbox coding and voice telephony capabilities is one thing, but deploying it strategically to solve real-world bottlenecks is another. This source material isn't just a list of an AI's features. It is a structural blueprint for how anyone feeling overwhelmed by a massive, multifaceted life project can leverage technology to regain control.
Regain control. I love that, because when you're standing at the bottom of a mountain like the U.S. medical system, you don't need someone to just describe the mountain to you. You need someone to hand you a pickaxe, point to a foothold, and say, let's get to work.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
We spend this entire time looking at how an AI can act as a strategic co-pilot to navigate something as incredibly complex and heavily regulated as the U.S. medical residency system for an international student.
Right.
But, think about your own life. What other overwhelming life transitions, like buying your first home and navigating the mortgage industry, or changing careers in your 40s, maybe planning a massive cross-country relocation, what else could be completely gamified, organized, and managed by setting up your own personalized AI cooperator?
That's a fascinating question.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can make phone calls to navigate the U.S. medical bureaucracy while you sleep, what mountain could it help you move? Until next time, keep diving deep.